Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Charlie Keenan from the Funnel Mechanics, and we're about providing businesses with the tools that they need to generate leads online. And I'd like today to welcome and introduce you to Laura Cooper from Pink Spaghetti. This is a business that specialises in virtual assistants, which is what we want to talk about today. So hi Laura, why don't you give us a brief introduction about you and your business and what you do and how you started along those lines?
Okay, my business is Pink Spaghetti PA Services, as you said. I'm actually just coming up to 3 years in business.
Wow.
Very exciting. I came from a very kind of corporate background, but kind of decided it was now or never. And 3 years ago, I kind of took that plunge and went into being a PA. So that's offering admin services, social media support. We've done everything from holiday cover through to literally pretending to be people online. So it's a real varied role that we offer. So 3 years now in business.
Wow. So is it going well?
Really well, yeah. It seems people have kind of embraced outsourcing now a lot more, I find. I don't know if that's, I think everybody kind of weathered the recession and came out the other end and kind of recognised that outsourcing is the way to go if you want to grow a business. So yeah, very, very kind of welcoming. I found whenever I'm out networking, people really, really kind of get the importance of outsourcing.
Yeah. No, I do appreciate them because I do use outsourcing quite a lot in some stuff I do. So today I wanted to really talk about what the virtual assistant services are. But if you were stuck in an elevator with somebody, how would you describe your business to them?
We very much describe ourselves as the 25th hour in the day, and that's for growing small businesses. So we help people to find those extra hours that they need. And the way we do that is we can take those things off your to-do list, those real pain points sometimes that you don't want to do because you simply just don't like the task. You don't have a skill set for it. And sometimes it is just that it's something on your to-do list that you know is important, but it just gets, constantly gets put onto tomorrow's to-do list, and you never get around to it. So we take those tasks, we do them for you. And that kind of allows you as a business owner to grow because you get to focus on what you're really good at, what you're passionate about, and really why you went into business in the first place. A lot of these things that we do are not necessarily the things that you really thought you'd be spending a lot of time doing, but they're crucial. So yes, that's where we can kind of really help businesses to grow.
That's cool. So now there are a lot of myths about every industry. And I'm sure there's lots of myths about what virtual assistants and their business and interactions with a business owner. So what do you think are the top ones that people would?
So I think top ones is kind of the scope of what the PA role is. We've come a long, long way since like the 1960s and the Mad Men PA secretarial role, but there is still some of that kind of expectation, and we do diary management, we do those kind of admin roles, but actually the scope of it is so much bigger now, where we can help. Definitely the scope side of things of what we can do to support people. I think probably another one that people get quite often is when you use a PA, that it's a one-man band that you're using. Maybe you don't think that you're actually there's teams behind them, there's a whole network of people behind them. Quite often it seems to be that people just kind of expect it to be that one-man band working from home type thing, and that's simply just not the case either. Probably the biggest one is I suppose it's not even just about PAs. I think it's about outsourcing in general. People think that outsourcing is painful. They think it's quite scary. I mean, there's no way around that. It can be quite scary. But actually people also think that it's expensive. And that's definitely a big myth that people kind of, once they get it, they really get outsourcing. But yeah, the expense of outsourcing, I suppose, is a big myth.
Okay. So one of the ones that I came across when I was first looking at VAs, which I'd like you to try and help expand for me, or expel, or whatever the right word is the trust element. Because one of the big myths is they're going to run off with my money. I can't trust them with anything. So that trust element, is that really the myth now, or has that been overcome?
I think as a business owner, we all like our control. So it is. It's about having that trust. You can choose. You need to choose a PA that you can trust.
Yeah.
And I would urge people to go out and meet a few different ones before they choose the right VA for them, because it is very personal. I don't think a VA is going to be in business very long if they're not trustworthy. But I do think that the letting go of control is critical in business, and that's across the board. It's not just about your PA. It's a big thing you have to overcome. But as a business owner, you can't hold on to every single element of your business if you want it to grow. Right. So finding the right PA who has the right skill set, but also is going to kind of come in and join your team.
Yep.
You're paying them for an hours of their time. You want them to come in and really become part of your team. And once you find the right PA, I think there's no looking back.
Yeah.
Your business is going to grow and you can really trust them.
So tell me a little bit more about Pink Spaghetti then as an organisation.
So Pink Spaghetti is, I have my territory. Interestingly, when I was looking at setting up my own business, I sat down and I wrote my kind of skill sets and kind of tried to work out what I was going to do with that. And I kind of figured out social media and admin were quite a good thing. And literally the next day on Facebook, up popped this ad to say, your local Pink Spaghetti franchise is available.
Right.
That's interesting and very timely. So kind of went through the process and got to meet Keith, who set it up originally. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. We get so much support, so much training. I've got an entire network of other franchisees behind me as well. So we're constantly on Facebook. We've got our own group. We share knowledge. We share information. We ask questions. There is somebody in my network who, if somebody throws a job at me that I've never done before, there will be somebody there who has done it. So it's a fab network of people. I've actually outsourced within it as well, to cover certain clients who've got a very specific need, and I kind of match them up with somebody within the PA network who kind of matches that really kind of specific requirement. So it's been an absolutely fantastic kind of way to start a business. It's literally, branding, everything was available to me. And all of that knowledge was just there at my fingertips. So, really, really helped me to kind of get going very quickly.
Which is what you need as a business. It takes me on to my next question about, so you're in the sort of the back office type support arena in a business. So most small businesses, when they set up, will have many roles and functions to perform. So what would be the best tip you would give somebody starting up to get started in organising themselves? Because that's basically what you do. You help organise, you help support and that. What's the biggest tip you would give them to a new business or a existing business for that matter?
I suppose it's twofold for me. Whenever you're doing anything, you kind of have to think about future-proofing things. So when you're looking at your processes, future-proofing them. It's all well and good, if it takes you an hour to get it done, but in 6 months' time that process is going to fall apart, it is worth spending the 5 hours setting it up.
Yeah.
Really kind of when you're pulling those processes together, test them, really put them under pressure, because once you've got a process in place, well, I mean, automation is fantastic now. You can cut out so much duplication. You can have all your systems talking to each other. You can literally have pipelines working for you. Your CRM system, MailChimp, your invoicing system should be talking to everything. All of that together is going to cut out so much duplication, but it takes that little bit of time up front. So you need to do it. There's no point. I've worked with businesses who have started off and they're 20 years in and they haven't changed their processes in 20 years, because either they work brilliantly, or suddenly they get to 20 years and suddenly they realize, oh my gosh, we really need to review this because it just isn't up to standards anymore.
No, I can understand. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Just 5 now is saving you 50 later, because you have to think about how you did it last time. Well, I did that, so how do I do that? So so that's a very good point, actually. Bulletproofing your or future-proofing, I should say, your process. So tell me about what's been one of your biggest success and why that was a big success for you and your client. Have you got an example you can take us through? Without breaking, obviously.
We've got a lot of clients who, I love all of my clients because they've all got such amazing businesses that, are where they are now because of the passion that the people have for them. One in particular that really does stand out is a client we did some work for at the beginning of this year. And they are a business that has grown and are 20 years, 25 years, I believe now, going strong. It's all through word of mouth, which is brilliant. How amazing is that? 25 years on word of mouth. But they recognised that actually they could be even bigger, and they had to embrace a lot of change to grow. So I came in first of all, and we did a whole kind of review of their processes. And we did a lot of automation. So they had no CRM system, they had no marketing database, and their processes were quite, like we were discussing there, they very much kind of grown organically. There were quite a lot of time-saving bits we were able to put into place for them. But actually where we've got them to now is we've got them on social media. They are generating now consistently new leads through social media, which is brilliant. We've grown their marketing database from 0 to just over 2,000 now on their newsletter, and that's all organic. Those are all people who have signed up to their newsletter. So they are now constantly marketing to people, and their business, as you can imagine, has absolutely seen the impact of that. Now, where we're 7 months down the line, they're really starting to see that. So something like that, I just love, because you can actually see
the change,
see the good that you've done, and love that kind of working with the client as a team.
So social media, from your perspective, the 3 years that you've been working as a virtual, what's been the biggest change you've seen in the last 3 years with, say, social media, or in anything online for that matter?
In the last 3 years, I think business absolutely gets social media now. 3 years ago, we were kind of having to still sell it to people. Now people just completely and utterly get that social media is necessary. The biggest thing though for me is very much about like the real time marketing on social media. So things like this, video is so big. And that's a challenge for some people based on their industry and based on, the collateral that they have behind them. Just having a folder full of beautiful photos now is not enough. You have to think on your feet a lot more. And yeah, live videos, all of that is just such a huge thing. And if you can get ahead of it now and get your head around it now, everybody else, because everybody's terrified.
Well, yes, I think everybody most people can attest to it, unless you're probably an actor, but even actors get nervous. So I can understand that, that people come. So overcoming those fears is a big issue for businesses. So do you have any tips that you would give a small business if they're starting on their social media doing videos? What would be your tip you would give them to get started?
Do it, I think, is probably the first thing. Do you know what? You'll probably hate your first video that you do.
Yeah.
But as long as, you know, you're being professional in it, you're getting a message across, that first video, once you've done that video, you're going to be laughing, because the second video is just that little bit slightly less scary the next, and you'll become a pro at it within time.
Yeah.
Only thing I'd say is have a little think about even just simple things like what's in your background, what kind of message you want to get across before you start your video, and just kind of, have an aim for what you're trying to say in your video. Don't just go, oh, I'll go live right now.
Yeah.
Have a little think about it. But don't think too hard. Don't over script it, just do it. It's, it can be fun.
Yeah.
It can, I promise you, it can be fun.
Okay, so one of the key things that I tell people is, or you hear, or one of the myths they hear is, but I'm not an expert. I don't know what to say. I don't have anything to say. So do you have a script or a formula that you give clients that might help them with that?
I think that's where you have to you kind of have to accept that you are an expert. You might not feel it in certain things, but you are the expert in your field. And you do know a lot more than your clients, and you do understand your clients and what they're after. So, you kind of have to get over that idea of not knowing what you're talking about. Keeping it simple, even just assuming that you're just going to do a 1-minute video or a 2-minute video, those, you can get a lot across in that time. But keeping it succinct, try and have like 1 or 2 messages that you really have to get across. And just stick to those. And, one thing, long time ago, I used to deal in media training. And one thing that we always told people was, if you think you're talking too quickly, slow it down and slow it down again, to the point where if you think it almost needs to sound like you're too slow in your head. And that's probably the right tempo to be going at.
Yeah.
On video, okay. So that's a really good way to kind of stop you waffling.
Yeah. I can relate to that, because as you do become nervous, your brain is working overtime, because you're thinking, oh, I've got to say something, I've got to say it quickly, oh, I've got to get this over, I've got to get that message. But actually, by slowing down, you have the ability to think ahead.
Absolutely.
And get the message across. And just practice that. And as you say, the first video is probably going to be the worst thing, and you're going to want it scrubbed from posterity.
Yes.
But I've seen somebody who showed me their very first video and where they are now, and they still keep it, because it shows how they've progressed and how much they themselves have moved forward. So it just helps prove that you can do it, and you will improve over time.
Absolutely. And it is worth, as cringeworthy as it sometimes is to watch you back, it's worth doing, because you can start to pick up on things that you're doing. Yeah. And that you can, for next time you can try to adapt.
Yeah. And improve.
And, that's the grow.
Okay, so what's Pink Spaghetti doing at the moment? What's the current sort of push through at the moment? What are you trying to push through with clients at the moment?
We are, so very recently I've had a new member to the team who's joined me, which is fantastic. We are very much at the moment trying to not get people to understand how social media can sit within your business, and how it is such an amazing tool for you to go out there and to spread your message and to gain not just new clients, but, you know, actual ambassadors for your brand. So that's really kind of our push at the moment. And also there's so many changes on social media at the moment that a lot of people, they kind of think once they've got their profile set up, that's it, they can kind of leave it. Facebook business pages, they've changed, and, you know, several changes have gone on in the last few weeks. So kind of consistently making sure that clients are up to date with what's going on Facebook and how they can adapt to those changes, and what we need to do to be on top of the game with social media is very much where we're at the moment.
So do you have anything that people can get in contact with you, or come and get their help for that sort of service?
Yes, so we are actually, at the moment, we're offering a free Facebook business page health check. So we will go through Facebook and we will tell you everything that's going on Facebook right now, what you need to be doing, and whether you're doing it, what you can, you know, little tweaks that you might want to do on your page to make sure that, you know, you're really getting the most out of your Facebook page. There's a link on my Facebook page that if you sign up there.
You sent me that link, and I've got it here for people. So let me just put it up and see if people can see it. There we go. So if people want to click on that link, they will be able to see Laura's offer. And it's a fabulous offer. As you say, Facebook changes things virtually weekly, privacy, messaging, all these services. And if you don't keep up to date, your page becomes less effective. So Laura's ability to just give you that good review is probably worth picking you up and taking it up on this offer. So I will post it later in the chat as well afterwards for people to have a look at. And if they want to click on that, that will take them straight to a form page, which I think you will then come back to them with and help them get in contact when you can do the review with them. Yes? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's a 4-page report basically that we'll send through. Yeah.
I'll probably be on this one on in there for you. Okay, so I would like to thank you. This has been amazing talking to you, finding out about you and your services and virtual assistants. If there was one last thing you'd want to say to people about using virtual assistants and that would overcome their fears or their barriers or objections, what would that be for you, do you think?
I would say don't assume you know how long a job's going to take. We've had in the past people who have approached us and said, I've started this, I believe it's going to take 20, 25 hours for you to do, and I can't afford that. So we've looked at it, and you know what, because of certain things that we know, the prime example is Excel, we were able to do that job in 30 minutes. So don't assume, you know, we will take the same amount of time.
Yes.
Do a task. Really, come talk to us. We can give you quotes. We can tell you, you know, where we can help you. And also bear in mind, you know, if your hourly rate is more than mine, you should be outsourcing, because anything you're doing, like that, you know, you need to be focusing your time on your passion, what you're really, really great at, and that's where you're going to grow your business. A PA can really kind of help you in the background to do those other tasks. Definitely consider outsourcing.
On that note, I'd like to thank you, Laura, for coming on, talking to me and to my page and all the people on my page. I'd like to thank you and wish you all the success in your virtual assistant business.
Thank you so much.